Is up, y'all? It's HTG Brian, and it's time to Gamebreak. That's right. It's been a whole month. I'm hoping that everything is functional and working well. As at the beginning of this month, as you guys know, I had some major issues with my Elgato 4K 60S Plus. That's a mouthful. I wish it was a little shorter and easier to remember, but I ended up getting a replacement. Ironically, it legit just showed up right now. But I had been using one that I purchased off Amazon. I will likely return this one because I don't need it anymore. But I'm happy to have received that. But during that whole process, I ended up just deleting all of my stuffs. So all of Slob's Streamlabs online broadcasting software, it totally had to be reset. The whole thing from the bottom up. And then ironically, it ended up being the device, not the software. So that was a huge bummer. But in the end, I think I got it to work and everything's good. I'll wait just a hot second or two, just kind of let some people pile in. I know we did the premiere page, but not many people got the notifications. It's a game break. The timing is a little different, so the people are a little different. But ultimately, we should see some more. Now, Elgato also sent me this little face mask. You guys probably can maybe see. I mean, we're getting to a point where face masks aren't as important as they once were. But I will be doing the rest of this stream with this face mask on. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That wasn't funny. Anyways, as you guys know, normally I go through and shout out everybody, but it's a game break, so we usually get to like the list of things, which is pretty short this month. There was a huge amount of time spent troubleshooting my software, hardware, lots of back and forth tech support, lots of email, some NOM support. You know, I bought a bunch of wires and had to rewire things. So, I mean, this month was even more uneventful than the more recent months have been since COVID. You know, we don't go out as much. We haven't been doing. Now things are starting to open back up. We're starting to ramp things back up. My wife's actually been on a vacation for the last few days. She gets back roughly the same time I will finish this game break, so I'm pretty excited about that. But, you know, ultimately, it was a pretty slow month. But regardless of all that, you guys know how this works. Welcome back. That's right. The graphics still hasn't changed. I'll get to that one of these days. Rebuilding it this month and trying to keep up with Lego and trying to do the extra stuff while the wife's gone. And we took a day to the beach too because of a serious heat wave, which I'll get to that in a little second. But ultimately, we had a pretty good month. I mean, as you can see here, the numbers are a little down in the watch time hours, but for the most part, it's good. You know, I was freaking out 10 days ago or so. The regulars who watch all the streams heard me kind of panicking, saying, you know, there's a lot of unknowns right now. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get a paycheck this month. I don't know if I'm going to get a paycheck next month. How that's going to work, or if it'll be the month after that. The way that things transferred with all the errors and the problems, I missed like a half a month's worth of work. Even though I was working, I was still uploading and doing, so people were still watching videos. Ads may have even been running, but they were going to Google because my monetization had been taken from me. So definitely a lot of unknown stuffs, like I mentioned. But I got some updates on that. Not that you guys are very concerned, but why it matters that I get a paycheck and why it matters if I'm getting a certain amount, little amount, better amount, lesser amount. You know, I have a family and I got to make money to live. And you know, ultimately, I definitely took a big hit this month. Let me get a drink of water there. Starting to sound like numb. But I got paid today. I wasn't expecting a paycheck. I got paid. It was like half a paycheck, but it was half a paycheck. So I'm excited about that. It was bubbly. Shirt is all, oh, my shirt is all pixely? Oh, it's probably, oh, you know why? Because it's got yellow and green and stuff on it. See, look, it's seeing through. It's seeing through. Because it's yellow and green. Yeah, that's cool. All right, I guess I'm just now catching up. But I'm not sure what's going to happen next month. But the overall analytics, they're going up. And, you know, in theory, we're getting pretty close to where I was. And the cool part about this is that I've missed the last 2 Sundays, which would have been included in that analytic. And Sundays are arguably the busiest, most viewed, longest watch time days. So I mean, if we have like what I would call a big hitter every week, I mean, there's always views on the back catalog. There's always things happening, and I'm grateful for it. I'm stoked that I found a way to provide videos and help that I don't want to use the word timeless because I know Nam and others will start poking at me, but because I'm old. But you know, ultimately they're still helpful even years later. And there's still plenty of people that never played the PS3 version or whatever, had the Wii, and then now they're coming back to play it on the PS3. And to me, that's old, right? Like I haven't played a PS3 in a while, but I mean, that doesn't mean others aren't and others aren't viewing. So there's always that accumulation. But as far as like each week, the big numbers that have the highest views or whatever, watch time, it's usually the Lego Sunday stream. So knowing that I'm going good, and that we still haven't even peaked out yet, and I missed a couple of days on top of that too that we'll hopefully add in, there's little worry that I will have to find or supplement any kind of you know, income or anything of it. So that's good. Ultimately, there was a time about a week ago where I was worried that I might not have as much time for Happy Thumbs because I might have to do some part-time work. Like I do web and graphic design stuff still. I wasn't sure if I was gonna have to like revamp and do some marketing on myself on that, or if like I would take some shifts. My dad runs a golf course, so I have access to that too. So like it wasn't like I was gonna be without. It was just what it was gonna look like was unknown. And so ultimately, views, watch time, new subs, all of that largely part of your guys, right? I mean, you guys are responsible for some, if not a lot of those views and watch time minutes. So thank you very much, because I was really starting to worry, and I know that you guys necessarily haven't done anything different. It's just all kind of catching up and starting to make more sense. So that's excellent, because I was really, I mean, Gray and I don't think Gray's here. He's sleeping. He'll watch this later. And not to get into details, but like Gray and I exchanged some words last week where he was just playing with me, and I sort of like bit his head off, and I had to apologize later, and you know, I was like talking to Todd about it too, and Todd was kind of like, dude, you know, maybe you should step back a little, and you know, maybe just take a breath, like, and he wasn't saying anything that I didn't need to hear, right? Like I needed to hear it, so I went back to Gray and I was like, look, man, I'm really sorry. So like I'm not usually that guy. I mean, Nom and a few others that come and go from the chat have known me for, you know, 15, 20 years. And although I get upset, I have emotions, I have highs and lows. I'm not somebody that's easily affected. I'm definitely not somebody that, I mean, that I would consider a drag. But I mean, you know, ultimately, it's just been a really roller coaster type scenario, right? With all my stuff, with the equipment not go, and then also it's the end of the year, so my wife's sort of like losing her mind, and I say the end of the year for school because she's a teacher, you know, and so she's just like going crazy with that. Plus, there's some transition happening for her as well, and I'm happy to say that has actually progressed, and it's not 100% official, but like all these things that were like long down the tunnel, long road ahead, like, I mean, it's short-term stuff, not 10, 20 years, but like 10 weeks, a lot. There's been a lot of stuff going on the last couple of months, and it's all coming to a head right now, and it's like all positive stuff. So, you know, if anything could be said from any of my flapping right now, it's, you know, stick with it. Don't give up. Don't be, you know, a silly Sally and roll over, and you just got to stick through it. Even if it means bitching to your friends and your family about it, and maybe even picking a fight, which then you'll have to apologize for later, right? It's all learning and growth. But anyway, so ultimately, looking good, and I appreciate all of you, and hopefully it'll just continue to rise. You know, I left my network partner, which is what started a lot of those problems last month, and ultimately they had been taking 10% of my revenue. Now that's what they claim. I never see anything other than what they relayed to me, and I definitely am not trying to say that like maybe they were skimming off the top or anything like that, but maybe they were. You know, ultimately I'm curious to see what it's going to look like on my own, and how it will function without that last minute, that last reserve of help. Because I didn't really use them. Like once every 3 or 5 months, I would send an email, ask a stupid question that I could probably Google and find an answer to. But I always wanted them to answer it because I knew that they had the right answer, because they deal with YouTube and they've been doing this a lot longer. In most cases, at least the position they have should have had some experience. But anyways, so good month, despite the fact that it's been a troublesome month, right? You know, light at the end of the tunnel and happiness is being found. So, and too, I know this is totally stupid, but like, you know, I lean on my wife for a lot of stuff. Like, you know, they say behind every good man, I don't know if I qualify for that yet, but they say behind every good man, there's a strong, good woman, right? And I mean, she is definitely that for me. And like her being gone was like what are we gonna have for dinner? Is there any food? Is like any food in the fridge? Like, you know, what about, you know, there was all these questions. So, and I don't do well with when those things start layering up. It's like a game. You guys have seen it when the menu is super robust and lots of stuff and reading is involved. Like, I like to go fast, and I don't like making you guys wait. And so like I don't like to read that crap. I like to just play the game. But then in the end, I end up not knowing things that I need to know. And people are like, good, if you just read, you know. So, but it's like that panic. It's that layering, that ADD OCD combo that I have that's just not great. Not great. All right, so what's going on? Because you deserve. Uh-oh, Nom's getting picked on, huh? That's a nice change. That's a nice change. I get my head bitten off all the time. Never gotten. Not from me, you don't. I feel like that might be a sisterly duty or a sisterly comment there. It's certainly not me that's biting your head off. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, there's a lot of finger pointing in our conversation, and it's usually you pointing at my faults or mistakes or what could haves. You know. So, anyways, what's up, Johnny? I see you sliding in here. All right, so moving right along. This next one. This next one is tough, and I only say that because, I mean, I'm not gonna like cry or anything like that. It's not like that. It's just, you guys, I know I just started. This whole segment started off with me, stick it through, never let your guard down, keep fighting. Guys, it's getting way harder to like be supportive and happy and optimistic about Lego Skywalker, right? I mean, I don't have a graphic or anything. If you're waiting for it, I don't have one for that part of it. You know, E3 happened, and I mean, I don't know how many people. I mean, there was at least a half a dozen people. Oh, it's gonna be at E3, confirmed. Oh, so and so said it. Oh, I read it here. Oh, it's confirmed. It's gonna be there. And we got, and I'm not saying like I have any special privilege, but we, the team, got a hold of some schedules like way early, like they leaked or were available online, whatever you want to call it. And we got them, and so for like the first 2 days, the first list we got had times of all the different speakers and segments and game announcements, and they had one for WB Games. And so when I saw that, I was kind of like, oh, maybe. And then like 2 days later, we got another one that had a breakdown of what WB was going to talk about, and it listed Back for Blood. And it said they were going to launch this new segment about the PvP, because that hadn't been talked about yet. And so as time would go on, it got closer and closer to E3. We found out that, in fact, their whole segment was for Back for Blood, and that they were totally talking, and that there was no plans. And I thought, oh, maybe they'll sneak a trailer. No, they didn't. So then a couple days goes by, and during this, we also heard about the Lego Con. The first Lego Con ever. It was digitally broadcasted, so nobody attended. It was all online. There was a lot of interaction and some cool stuff. I don't know if you guys watched or not. It was actually really cool. I do have a graphic for this one. A couple days before, we got some people showing up in the chat. Oh, it's going to be at LegoCon. Confirmed. It's at LegoCon. Confirmed. Star Wars are there. And again, same thing happened. We caught wind of like an itinerary, and there was a spot for Lego Star Wars. But it was very specific in the fact that it was said new sets revealed. And that's exactly what it was. So I watched it. I hate watching those things. If you guys know me, it comes back to that whole thing. Like, I just don't have the patience that I once had, or maybe I never had it. But, you know, I like those, all this build up and hype and the stage talking, oh, next, coming up next, coming up next. And then you watch it and it's like a teaser or something stupid that doesn't really, they alluded to what was really supposed to, and it's such a disappointment. And so I got tired of watching E3s and PAXs and all that stuff a long time ago, because it's such a hope builder, and then it just destroys you. It just pulls the rug out from under you, and it gives you basically nothing. And now it's negativity. So you know, with this whole notion, and it never got showed, and we still know nothing. You know, and then just to layer up some more information, most of you probably already know this, but about a month and a half ago, the lead designer that's been with the development studio who makes the Lego games, it's been there for like 20 years, 15 years, 20 years, basically the whole time. Now, he didn't start off as the level designer. He's only been the level or the main designer, the lead designer is what I was trying to say. He's only been in that position for probably the last 6-7 years, but he's a big deal, and he's a good guy, and he left like seemingly abruptly. Now, there's a lot of reasons that he could have left. The game could have been done. It's in the home stretches. Just needs to go gold and be printed and then marketed. It could have been a major push from like somebody above, and so listen. I've got this theory, and I don't even like talking about it because, you know, I try not to be a negative Nancy, but ultimately a bunch of stuff happened and it affected me directly, and it's likely affecting the game, and nobody's talking about this. Nobody is talking about this. At least I haven't seen it. Maybe you guys will go, oh yeah, everybody's talking about it. I haven't seen one word about this, and I've mentioned this before, so I guess I've mentioned it before. Somebody's talking about it. I'm a nobody. A while back, a big purchase was made, and that purchase bought, I believe, an entitled Warner Brothers games to AT&T. So essentially, all these properties, these games, all this stuff, right? There's a lot of games under WB Games. In fact, even Back 4 Blood is. It's my understanding that that portion of Warner Brothers was just sold to AT&T like a couple weeks, months ago. Now, what's crazy is there was this sequence that happened with me prior to that. So I've been with Full Screen, which is a network partner, since 2013. So a long time. And Full Screen was bought by WB Games like last June or July. So about a year ago. And I talked about it on a Gamebreak and was like, this is wonderful. This is likely going to open up so many doors, and I'm going to have access to all these games, including Lego. This couldn't be any better. Like, I was hyped about it. And absolutely nothing changed at first. And I went through a bunch of contract negotiations. I was on an old contract that benefited me, but the new one was going to be even better. And I was reluctant. We fought back and forth, and for like 12 months, we fought. They got me something that I agreed on. I signed it, and it was for 6 months. And before my 6 months was even done, they tell me, hey, we're no longer going to cover content creators. So basically, you know, your contract's over next month anyway, so we're just not going to renew it. And you're going to be on your own. I was like, what? So I found out that WB had been bought by AT&T. So like I said, it directly affected me because I feel like the buyout from AT&T, somebody made a decision like, look, this department, this area, whatever, isn't making the money or benefiting anybody, whatever it was, and I feel like they just wiped it. And I wonder if somebody came in and said, hey, we really like Lego Star Wars, but we want it to be more like Call of Duty or something. You know, that happened to the SOCOM franchise. SOCOM, I think 4? Yeah, SOCOM 4 was made. And they're like, nah, we want more SOCOM. So it happens where franchises are destroyed and with the blink of an eye or snap of a finger of somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. I hope that's not happening. I hope that's not what had happened, but it is something that should be looked at. It may also be the reason why Art Parsons left TT Games, right? I mean, somebody comes in and throws a huge hurdle in front of this product that's almost done, and if there's a conflict of interest, bye. Again, this is all just hearsay. I have no evidence. Art may show up at my house tomorrow and go, "What the hell are you doing talking about me?" Doubtful. He lives in the UK, but you know, it is possible. And so, I mean, if we're doing conspiracy theories, which Nam will tell you I'm pretty good at, you know, it's a possibility that I could see happening. Now, I still stand by my whole 60 to 90 days before we see the game. So we're running out of time for this year's release, you guys. If they're going to do a 60 to 90 day campaign before the game releases, I mean, we only got 6 months left. So, I mean, there's still time. It still could release on the holidays. It still could be in our hands before we know it. But ultimately, like I said, guys, it's getting harder and harder with all these big time opportunities with LegoCon, E3. And there is rumor, I don't know when it is, but I think it's this week, maybe Friday, there's going to be a state of play. I don't know if anybody knows anything about that, but there was like, it was brewing up and it was all just kind of like, sounded like it was being decided when it was. So I don't think it was even official. Listen, I don't think Lego is going to announce something like their release during a PlayStation or during a Nintendo or during an Xbox presser. I think they would do it on their own, or, you know, at an E3 or something, maybe. But like, people are like, oh, Xbox has got this huge 4-hour span, they're totally gonna have, you know, Star Wars there. It's possible. It has happened before, but it's just unlikely with the way that properties are owned and how people like to do things. You know, unlikely. All right, moving right along. So one of the big things that happened this month was we've had a heat wave. I know there's states and people, countries out there that are like, 110, that ain't nothing. I do that in my sleep. Here's the difference. Our community, our area is not made for this. So there's not tons of people with pools at their houses. There's lots of stand above ground pools and stuff. People don't be swimming like they do in Cali or Texas or Florida. So there's, and when the heat wave gets announced, everybody goes and buys all the water, toilet paper. You guys know the drill. We've all been through this in the last year. There's like this mass rush to like buy a bunch of stuff that you don't need. Air conditioners gone locally. Pools gone locally. Now you can get stuff through Amazon and other places, but it's can't buy any of that stuff locally. Real talk. I was just telling Kirsten this right before the stream started. I'm looking at it right now. At least 63 people have died due to extreme heat in Oregon since the historic heat wave began last week. The majority of the deaths reported so far have been in Multnomah County, where at least 45 people have died directly due to the heat. Now, we have a large homeless population, which I've mentioned, and it seems to be growing and growing and growing. There's a lot of reasons why, from the fires to the ice. There's a lot of stuff that's happened this last year that has really affected the people in our state. And it's likely a lot of those homeless people were the ones affected by the heat. And so that really sucks. It did peak out. It hit 117 degrees day before yesterday. That's too hot. That's way too hot. As you guys know, I live in like an attic space. Basically, it's a bonus room that has kind of an A-frame. So like I'm touching the ceiling. It's right there. I mean, I'm sitting down. I'm not standing. I'm sitting. It's really low ceilings, and I've got a lot of equipment and lights that run. So it gets really hot up here. On a normal day when it's like 75 outside, it's easily 80, 85 in here. So I always have the air conditioner running. I've got multiple fans. So my wife was getting ready to go on this trip, and she wanted to do something. She was like, let's go. Let's get out of the house. Let's go somewhere. So my mom lives at the beach over at Salishan, Oregon. It's Glen Eden Beach, but it's Salishan is the actual location. And so we decided to go over to the beach, and everybody was thinking that, and we knew everybody was thinking that. So we outsmarted everybody. Ready? So check this out. We're veterans. We've been living. We live 45 minutes to an hour from the coast. We go to the coast all the time because my mom has a house there. So we frequent the coast probably a lot more than a lot of people do. We know the traffic patterns pretty well. Obviously, there's accidents that can happen at any point that you never know. But we got that Google Maps. We know how to use it pretty efficiently. So we looked. We're like, all right, it's busy. It's busy AF. Let's wait. Let's wait a little bit. So we got on the phone with my mom, and she has a house in Bend, too, which is about 4 hours away from the coast, really. And she was on her way back to go meet us. So she has to drive right through Salem, where I live, to get to the beach. And so the goal was, take your time, Ma. Don't get up super early and rush, because there's going to be this mad rush of people on this hot day to go to the beach, and we don't want to get caught in that. She's like, oh, you're totally right. So she calls, and she says, hey, I've gone through all my stuff in Salem. I'm leaving Salem. We were all packed up, so we bailed at the same time. We ended up getting probably 20 minutes into our journey, which again normally takes about 40 minutes to an hour to get to my mom's. We got about 20 minutes in, so maybe halfway, not quite. Gridlock, absolutely stopped dead. Phone rings. Mom goes, where are you at? Have you found the traffic yet? I go, yeah, we're sitting in it. I said, honestly, I think you're like 3 cars up in front of us. She goes, nah, I don't think so. And I was like, no, seriously, you have a truck behind you? She's like, no. She had a truck behind her. And so she goes, I'm going to pull over into the side a little bit and see if you see me. So my wife driving, pulled off to the side. I'm like, yeah, it is you, Mom. It's right there. So we were like 3-4 cars away from each other. And, you know, we had our dog. She had her dog. They're like besties. So my mom gets over in the other lane because that lane was going slower. And so we caught up and got right there. Worst decision ever, because Drexler loses it. And he sees Roxy and he's like wanting to play. And it's 113 at this point. And so no windows are down. No, the air conditioning's blowing like crazy. Anyways, long story short, it took us almost 3 hours. It was 2 hours and 45 minutes to get to my mom's place. I had to pee so bad, you guys. We ended up stopping. There's like this little country fair type thing, a farmer's market, if you will. And they had a porta potty. And we were doing like 10 feet every 5 minutes. And so like we're seeing this farmer's market. I'm like, oh, porta potties. Porta potties. And of course, you know, everyone's like, nah, porta potties are gross. I'm like, I don't care. I gotta go. And there's nowhere else to go. There's Gridlock everywhere. You can't just get out and pee without people going, you know, or maybe having, you know, indecent exposure or whatever. Nobody wants to see that or deal with that. So we pulled off, got to the bathroom, got back on, got there. Had a great day. And listen, I just want to show you guys this. There was other video and other footage of the dogs running and all this beautiful stuff. I sent Kirsten and Ray and a couple of people photos and videos. And so a lot of the stuff is repetitive to them. But I don't think I showed you guys this. And I'm an idiot because, listen, I should have just put my phone down and just hit record. And I should have just let that roll. And this could have been my background for the whole time. Now, I started playing with it and I tried to make like a loop. But it was too jumpy and I didn't want the jumpiness. So I didn't do it. But I mean, Oregon, it doesn't get hot weather. Beach, very rarely over like 65, 70 degrees. Like maybe 2-3 times a year does it get over that. We don't have nice weather like Cali. It's not great. But this was something. I can't even, so it was about 86 degrees. There's only about 15 seconds of this, so I wish I was
Well, you guys.
But that is unheard of. I mean, we'll play. Unheard of. Now, how this guy, his son looks like it's just an amazing. So we were having food.
Well, you guys.
Here, let me get
Food that we wanted. You know, my mom was all stocked up on drinks and everything. So we were just chilling. We had a great time. We took the dogs down on the beach and just let them run. And it was, like I said, it was very tolerable down on the beach. The wind stopped for a minute. and I got really hot, and I thought I was having like a heat flash or some sort of like meat sweat from the food that I ate, because I ate like taco pizza and pepperoni pizza, and then they got like this artichoke heart. I thought it was chicken and artichoke, but I should have known better. My mom doesn't do any kind of meat, so like there's no way there was meat on that. So I ate like a bunch of this artichoke hearts, which is delicious, but I get heartburn from. And so I'm like sitting on the beach going, I don't feel good, you know. And so like Jillian goes, well, the breeze stopped. That's probably. And then right then, whoosh, it started blowing. I was like, oh yes, and it was so nice. It was so awesome. So we got back to the house. We started talking. We started looking at the Google Maps, and we're like, let's wait. There's a slowdown. We have a casino on our way home, and we're like, there's a wreck at the casino. Let's wait. And so we waited like 2 more hours. We didn't leave until like, I don't remember. It was like 8:30 or something like that. 8:40 something. Again, 40 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic and stuff. Yeah, we rolled in at 11:40. It took us 3 hours to get home. So let's go back a little bit. About 3 hours to get there. About 5.5, 6 hours there. 3 hours home. You know what the worst part of this story is? The worst part of the story is that we left 117 degrees behind in Salem to go be in 117 degrees in a car for 6 hours. And then we got home. I kid you not. Look, this is what it said. I know it's going to be backwards, but you can see it. The bottom number is backwards. It's 68 degrees. That's how it was in my room. It was 117 outside. We left to go to the beach, and it was 68 in my room the whole freaking day. Granted, no lights were on, no TVs. The PCs were both off. Likely was 70, 72. I invited Nam. I was like, hey, come on down. He's about an hour drive, hour and 20 drive to me, and then it would have been the hour drive. So I'm like, it's like 40 minutes, hour to my mom's, maybe an hour and 20 if it's really bad. He laughed so hard at me. It's like, best choice I ever made was to stay home and not be stuck in a car with you for 6 hours. Oh my God, that was crazy. Absolute craziness. So anyways, heat wave is basically over. Today it's much cooler. Let's see here. It says, okay, my phone is going nuts. It's like acting like it didn't have internet, and all of a sudden it does. It's only 70 degrees out right now. It's 5:30, so kind of like the hottest point of the day. Between 3 and 6 o'clock is usually when it's the hottest here. And it's 70 degrees outside. No wonder it's only 68 in here. It's right where it's supposed to be, though. I don't even have my extra fans on or nothing, so yeah. So, that's been fun and everything. Amidst all of this, though, the heat wave, the being gone, obviously I've missed some streams. And so I started doing some evaluating. We are going to be going on a family vacation for a week in about 4 to 5 weeks. So it's still a ways out, but I'm pre-planning. I'm going to do a lot of preloading of videos, and it'll be Lego Batman free play videos by the time we get there anyways. We still got a few stories left. But I was doing some math, and as you guys know, this last month was really tough. I took a huge hit financially by being demonetized, which was not part of the plan. The disconnect should not have caused that. How and why, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I don't think every person that was disconnected from full screen went through what I went through. Maybe somehow related to that strike I got a million years ago that I've always felt sort of funneled stuff from my channel or, whatever. I have no idea. I really don't. Likely nothing, right? No connection, just coincidence, randomness. If something can happen and it's bad, it's likely going to happen to me. And I think that's why I have such a positive mentality and why I have such thick skin, is because, I've had a pretty decent life, really. But, I've been in a lot of situations that could have been a lot better, and most people don't have to deal with that crap. Well, look, it's weird. I got three me's up right now. I got my YouTube page right here. I got the YouTube page right there, and then I got Streamlabs over there. And like those two look identically fine. This one, I look super like I'm about ready to be snapped out by Thanos. I know the green screen stuff wasn't fully worked out. My light, as you guys remember, went out last month, and so I'm still trying to fix that. Plus, I had to do it all on the fly today because I forgot to set my green. I got everything set up, but I didn't set the green screen stuff up, and then I played a game late. So, anyways, what I'm getting at here is that a long time ago we created HTG TV in order to have some freedom, play some mature-based games without the worry of potentially getting strikes or losing the main channel. That's still a reality to this day right now. The original vision was very different for Happy Thumbs Gaming TV. And this is not a shot at anybody, but there were multiple people involved, and the original plan involved 6 people and 6 days worth of variety content. So, like, you know, figure like one person on Monday, another person Tuesday, another person Wednesday. There may have been overlap where like the person who's in charge on Wednesday was in Monday and Tuesday streams too, or whatever, right? But like there was this group effort, and it was the weirdest thing. Like, snowball started rolling down a hill, and it just knocked us all over. And everybody, you know, Mike was one of them. We see Mike all the time, but he works a full-time job now and doesn't have the time that he had when we discussed this. You know, and again, this is not a shot at anybody. It's just examples, right? You know, Tyler was working sort of part-time, and he transitioned into like, I believe, a management position, and it required a lot more of his time. So like, just not available. So again, like, just Gary and Nick disappeared. You know, Paz, he actually transitioned to a management position and then decided he didn't want it and went back to his daily. So like everything changed all within about 3 weeks, and it was unknown. And so I just said, you know what? I'm going to carry this torch. We're going to do this. And in a couple weeks, we'll figure this out. Well, then a couple weeks went by and we didn't figure it out. A couple more weeks went by and we didn't figure it out. And then I sort of created this routine where I was uploading and streaming on HTG 5 days a week. Well, technically 7. But I had these off days where I wasn't streaming, and I opted to stream over on the other channel. And then this gave me the opportunity to stream like Resident Evils and, you know, Apex, which isn't greasy or bad. I could totally play Apex. Even back in the day, I could have played Apex on the main channel, and I did. But it was just like a freedom place, and like the language. When I play games like that with people, I won't mention any names, gray. But like, there's definitely some slips that happen, and I would rather some of those slips happen on TV versus on the main one. Again, trying to keep it clean and make sure that there's no flub-ups, mishaps, or whatever. Now, we've sort of parted ways with this whole moniker of being a family-friendly channel. I'm still very much in all ages. I still very much feel like my commentary has some secret gems that if you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't, right? It's a lot of flying over heads of the youngsters, but also landing, and you know, every once in a while I offend somebody, but I mean, I don't intend to. It's just me trying to be funny. You know, so I've kind of decided. I did some math on the hours I spent at HTG TV, and you know, I finally got it monetized, which was huge. I was super glad. But I mean, you know, for those of you who are wanting to do YouTube, you got to go full Hammerstein, and you got to have a product that has replayability. Streams like I do don't necessarily have a ton of replayability. Like, if you're wanting to follow along and play through a game and I'm getting all the collectibles and stuff, then it's fun. But if you're wanting to really get 100%, a guide video is going to be much better for you. So those videos do very well, but our streams don't do very well. And then if you take all those guide videos away and you only have 2 streams a week, so you're only doing 8 streams a month, and it's a numbers game where you need at least 1,000 views that serve ads to their completion, giggity, so that they actually get their revenue. Otherwise, you get a percentage of that. And so, like, everybody who skips ads, I'm not saying don't skip an ad. If that's your preference, keep it. But when you skip an ad, depending on how long you play that, I only get a percentage. So let's say it's, you know, 10 seconds long and you play a second. I get 10% of that. And it takes 9 more people doing the same exact thing before I hit that threshold of getting that first CPM. And so Anyways, what I'm trying to say is I put about 40 plus hours a month into HTG, and I'm legit bringing home. Well, here, let me see what it says right now. I'll give you a like an accurate, legit. Oh wait, I'm not logged in there. I can't. I'm sorry. I lied. $2.50 is what it showed. I don't even want to do the math on 40 hours of work for $2.50. I mean, it's like it's like a penny an hour or something like that. I mean, it's not much, right? It's more than that, but it's not much. And at the end of the day, it never has been about money. Like it was great that it got monetized. It helps. It adds up. It throws into the pile. But like legit, like $2.58 isn't really adding to the pile. So with how things have been and the worry, I have officially put HTG on pause. Oh, that's fun. Seriously? Seriously? Boom? What the hell? Why isn't this working? I had to listen. I even told Reese like I had to grab. There it is. Woo! I had to grab and I told Reese I wasn't gonna animate it, and then before I knew it, I was animating it, and then the damn thing doesn't work. So I'm gonna make sure it works. Listen, we're not done. I'm not walking away. I mean, there's a possibility we might see some other people streaming there. I'm not gonna put anybody on blast, but it's possible, right? There's nothing is being thrown away or forgotten about. I'm just going to focus on building up some some preloads so that when I go on vacation, I'm comfortable. I'm going to focus on getting the main channel flowing at full capacity again, with my devices and everything kind of back up and running. It shouldn't take much longer. So, Apex should return soon. Whether or not I'll play more Resident Evil Village or what will take over on Thursdays when it does return, I don't know yet. And the same applies to what's going to replace Wednesday's game. As you guys probably saw earlier today, we finished up and all got the platinum on Overcooked All You Can Eat. So Wednesday now has an open spot, but which sucks because I wasn't sure at the making of this next graphic here. I wasn't sure if it was going to be done or not. But essentially, this is the current stream schedule moving forward. So Wednesday will be different. It'll be something other than Overcooked. But, we've got World War Z on Mondays. We got something replacing Overcooked on Wednesdays. And we got Fridays is Returnal until I'm hoping to get the platinum in the next, 2 to 3 streams. If it drags on a lot longer than that, I may not finish that on stream. That may be something I do off stream. It just takes a lot of replay and being good, and I've definitely failed a few times. And then there's those times where I get really far and I get to a point and then I mess it up. So there's user error involved there too. But last but not least, Sunday is going to be Lego City until we wrap that up. So we are playing that on the Nintendo Switch. So it is a little bit of a different adventure for me. Some of the things are basically the same, and some of them look a little different. But ultimately, we're having fun with that, and it will return this Sunday, barring some unknown circumstance. Now, I see Chacho's here. What's up, Chacho? So yeah, definitely stuff coming up, but not 100% sure what'll replace Wednesday. Like I said, Immortals Phoenix Rising could take over Wednesday. We might take Anthem for a spin for maybe a week or two, and a lot of it'll be determined by performance. If I do something on Wednesday and it gets 100 views, probably won't make it back the next Wednesday. If I play something that I don't like and it does 10,000 views, I will probably bring that back next Wednesday and put on a smile doing it. So largely depends on what you guys want to see and how you want to see it. I know that some of you game does but doesn't matter. Some of you just enjoy hanging and being a part of the community, making fun of me, seeing how bad I am at games at times, whatever the case may be. What's up, Lori? So anyways, that's what we got looking ahead. But yeah, let's see where are we at. 45 minutes. We got Patreon left. Yeah, I am really seriously bummed out about Lego Star Wars and just being no info. I mean, I just don't know, you know, due to this month. On a side note too, I think I think Raised and I still need to talk, but I think I've shared my. Well, I don't think Tyler's gotten in on it either yet. But I think I've shared my idea of. So I have this idea, like, I mean, if executed properly, I mean, it could open up some doors and change kind of the way we do some things, gaming and playing. It may motivate us to be more active. It may motivate us to frequent certain shops to claim rewards. It may allow us to, how do I say this without saying this? Message deleted by Whooper. Tyler's here? I didn't even know Tyler was here. That is hilarious. Background lurking, and you got wrecked. That's good, Tyler. That's hilarious. So I still have I've got a post-it here with kind of a wireframe, if you will. I'm not gonna show it to you, but I need to talk to I need to get it gooder, so I can present it visually in a video. But I also want to get some feedback from a couple more people, and I know, like I said, Raised I haven't talked to about it, and Tyler and I, our paths haven't crossed in a few weeks. So ultimately it's one of those deals where, like, it's not like I mean, I kind of stole it from, and I told everybody that too. Like, the idea kind of started with something else that happened like almost 10 years ago. And since then I have not seen anything like it. And I had some ideas that were brought to me by Kirsten and Gray. They both brought me the same idea. And I think it has potential. Now, none of this freaking matters at all if I can't find a way to visually present it and then tag the people who would matter. Because I'm likely not going to be in a room with anybody of the importance that it would require in order for this to trigger. So the goal is, hopefully during this next month, as I don't see myself troubleshooting and doing a bunch of ridiculousness, I hopefully be able to somehow put this together in a visual manner. I'm going to talk to, I actually have another guy that, he's kind of like a big brother to me. I don't have many of scenarios like that. And sadly, our schedules are so different, far from matching up. And he lives across the country from me. But I definitely want to talk to my buddy Patrick as well. And Patrick could potentially take this and turn it into a visual. Patrick could also give me some real world or real development ideas, as he has worked in studios and it works with people. He's a radio VJ by day now, but I mean, he's worked in development studios in the past, and just very knowledgeable. The guy has never played a Lego game, has no freaking clue how I make videos or what it is. He just, he had a good go at YouTube on his own. He had a podcast or a vlogcast, or however you say it, where it was video and they were talking, and him and his buddy had one for a while, Battle Chatter Online, and there was another one too. I can't think of the name of it right now, but anyways, point is, guy's a genius, and if I take this, he could likely help with the concepts, but also maybe turn it into a visual, which I could probably do in a very mundane, boring way. But like, there's people out there that know how to create these infographic type things that would blow minds. And Tyler's one of those guys too, for what it's worth. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that he's provided that, I don't even think about. And he's like, what do you think of this? And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. And some of it's gotten used, like, prime example, this right here. And it's simple, but I mean, there's definitely other people out there that might be able to help represent and do whatever. All right, so backing out of that, and okay. So basically, I mean, on my list, I got Patreon shout outs, and that's about it. I mean, my goal today was an hour. I told the wife I wouldn't really go over it, and I'm about 11 minutes away from being there. So perfect timing. That's funny. That's my name, Patrick. Awesome, Teflon. Probably not the same Patrick. And if it is, listen, you would blow my mind if it was. Casey, welcome to the Happy Thumbs memberships. Thank you so much. In fact, I wonder if that was what we needed to unlock the next emoji. So while I'm looking at that, you guys tell me, what emojis would you guys like to see? What emojis would you like to see? You're his brother. You're almost funny, Nom. Almost. Let's see here. Memberships. Emojis. So I currently have one open right now. I have 9 out of 10 being used. What the crap? What? Where does it say? Where does it say? Okay, there it is. Wait, no, it doesn't tell me how many more. Oh, 2 more members needed. Boy, I just got to read. Me and that reading thing, you guys. Let's see here. Yeah, so 2 more, and I'll have 2 emojis open. I think at some point, too, we'll probably get rid of the ash can. I mean, that was something that was wildly said a lot in the early days of my streams. I don't say stay hydrated or always stay hydrated or much of that anymore. So it's kind of lost its luster if it ever had any to begin with. So yeah, I mean, I know we've talked about, you know, a gray, like a med kit, but grayed out. And Judy, I'm looking right now. You've been a member for 25 days. I know we were talking about it's coming up close to your. You're almost to that 1 month badge. Only a couple more days. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I never understand this either. You want to hear something funny? Like, this is straight up real. Like, I'm not making this up. You guys know how to math, right? Right now, there are 38 members, right? 38 because we just got Casey. Casey just joined. Big shout out to Casey. Thank you very much. 37 of them have been there as of before the stream, right? 37 of them have processed. So 37 times 99 cents, right? Right? 99 cents is the that's what it is for a membership. You figure Google probably takes a cut or something, right? It's not even half, you guys. It's not even half. I don't know where it all goes or how it accumulates. My thought originally is that there was probably some sort of like join date difference, right? So like certain times of the month, people would get like, you know, Nam may get charged on the 1st, where Kirsten may get charged on the 31st, right? Or something like that. So the timing may be, and like maybe the charge points are different. So it just kind of always changes. But when my demonetization happened and then got remonetized, it started everybody over on the same day. And so now it's all, so it's still, I still don't get it. I still don't get it how, so their cut must be much larger. And I was like, oh, full screen must be taking a cut out of that too. They're not around anymore. So I don't know where that all goes or how that works. But, you know, and there's been talk too. People have been asking me if I will increase and do higher levels. Like, you know, like a $2 and like a $5. My biggest hang up with that is I don't know what I would offer for that. I mean, I don't want to limit streams to members only. I don't want to limit the chats to members only. You know, that's something that somebody suggested. Like this is full screen, network partners, people high ups, like marketers. This is how they'll tell me to brand my channel. They'll tell me to hide my videos behind a pay gate. They'll tell me to make it a 99-cent entry and then make it so your videos can't be watched by people unless they're a member. I'm like, no, that's gonna. So many people will go. There's other videos that people would probably watch that are free. Like, why would I do that? And the same applies. Like, you know, put the live streams behind a pay gate. Now, it would be cool to do like a members only stream like once a month or something, right? Like only announce it to the members, just have them people there. But is that feeling of exclusivity worth the lack of other interaction that might, and time frame's going to change things too, because not everybody that's a member can make every stream. So like the stream and the time, depending on what it was, you might not even be able to make it, right? So I mean, there's a lot of things that I toy with, but I mean, a lot of it's just like I'm a set it and forget it kind of dude. I don't like do a lot of skins on weapons and stuff. I don't do a lot of, I mean, when I go to restaurants, when I find something I like, I eat that and I get it the next time I come, and the next time and the next time, and very habitual, like spectrum, like, you know, my wife says that all the time, like, you should go get checked to see where we're at, because that would help me kind of determine my responses to you at times, because, you know, sometimes I just don't get stuff. I'm sure the team will tell you too. There's been times where somebody suggested something or has told me for sure a fact, and I've been like, you know, or like whatever, right? And then later, I'm the first to admit, like, oh, you were right. You know, like today, Kirsten got me not once, but twice. And I told her both times, like, time her out for being right. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't get timed out. But I mean, I have no problem. There's no shame in my game. So if I make a mistake, say something wrong, do something to offend somebody, I've been there and done that. I've been thrown out of the holy grail of video game studios. The only game studio I would ever want to visit, like if I had one studio to visit, my bucket list studio, I got in there and I got thrown out. And then I had to tell that, you know, I had to explain and figure it out. And I was honest, and that's always been the best policy for me. I tried the lying game when I was younger. I got in more trouble. I don't do that. I don't care. I hold myself accountable, and I think that's important. I think you guys should do the same. Kirsten knows. It was Zipper Interactive, yeah. And at some point, I'd love to tell that story. I've got footage of me. I interviewed the head game designer, Travis, which of SOCOM 4. I got footage, a raw footage of me, like legit standing there, just talking to a guy named Blaine, who was one of the developers there. He was sort of like my chaperone, if you will. Like, it was media day, and we got in under media. I actually hadn't even started Happy Thumbs yet. It was actually under Urgent Fury, the old tournament community that I used to work for, and so I mean, there's actually some really cool footage. I had a buddy of mine. His dad was really big into the like the youth football league, and he somehow created this like video. I don't even know how to really explain it, but like they created this company for the football league that was funded by the football league families and people, and they paid my friend to go and record and like do highlight videos and all sorts of stuff, which then led to like some of their college tryout videos and such. So it was really a good gig for my buddy John. But John was big time SOCOM guy and lived in Portland, real close to me, and I had to drive through Portland to get to Seattle, which is pretty much where Zipper was. And anyways, John had these big high end like $20,000+ cameras, and so we went, and he sat there with this big rig on his shoulder the whole time and recorded me. So I've got like anywhere from probably 40 minutes to maybe an hour and a half of like footage. I think there's some of John playing and me filming him. And then Shane was there too. Shane was the primary owner of Urgent Fury. So, you know, I always wanted to do a video on that. And that was ultimately one of the things that I wanted to do as part of my day of upload or stream for HTG TV was I was going to do a segment called Did You Know? And I've got stories, 503 stories, you know, about my clan, about me, about, you know, how Happy Thumbs got started, where my In a Dub name came from. I mean, some of them were going to be like 3 minutes long or less, and some of them were going to be like 20, 30 minutes long, you know. And I just haven't ever gotten to that. And ultimately, Tuesdays and Thursdays may provide some time for me to start doing that. And ultimately, it makes way more sense for me to upload that to the main channel. Much like a Game Break, I don't expect it to have a huge success, but it might. And a lot of people have been asking me to do like the best of, stuff too, like your favorite Lego games, your favorite Lego characters, your favorite whatever. And I asked you guys to give me a list. And if I told you guys, if I got 10 solid like video concepts, I would do those 10 videos and see how they go. I'm still waiting. Like how I throw that in your lap. It's your fault. You. That's right. Not mine. Yours. All right, hey guys. Let's get to the Patreon shoutouts and then let's start wrapping things up. I do believe my wife is a little behind schedule. I don't seemingly have any. Let's see here. So she's all the way back. Oh crap, she's in Wilsonville. She's only about, well, depending on traffic, that could be 20 minutes or 2.5 hours. Wilsonville's the worst at 6 o'clock too. Oh my god. Justin, I see you out there, bud. Good to see you. Good to see you. So I know a lot of you have kind of come and gone. I apologize if you're still here. Let's chat it up here in a second. But I do want. I've heard this story so many times. You sort of lived it though, Nam. You were like kind of. I mean, you weren't there physically, but like as everything went down, I mean, you were like number 1 or number 2 right behind me, right? Like you were right there as far as involvement, leadership, playing, nightly routine. I mean, you were right there during that. So yeah, I can imagine you've probably heard that a gajillion times. My bad. All right, Patreon. So as you guys know, oh, you know what? I didn't set up my social icons. It doesn't really matter because there's only one that I would have used anyways, and it would have been the Patreon one. But patreon.com/HappyThumbsGaming is actually a place that allows you guys to go and support us directly. I mentioned the YouTube stuff earlier. I don't really know where a lot of that membership money goes. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. You guys are supporting me, and I love that. Obviously Google's got to pay the bills too. I'm sure they're having a hard time keeping the lights on these days. But regardless, Patreon, we've got multiple tiers. Starts with like, giving recognition and getting put on our Happy Thumbs Namer Wall of Fame. Basically anybody and everybody who supported us gets their name thrown on there at whatever tier level, the highest tier level that they've been at. So let's say you support at $1 for a whole year and then you bump up to 10 for 1 month and go back, you'll always be at 10. I don't mess with that too much. I always just push it to the highest and leave it there. I've had people that have supported me over $100 a month, and even though the highest is only 10, I've had people that have wanted to support at various numbers but also be anonymous. So there's lots of things that go in and around this, and again, I'm always looking for ideas or whatever. I sort of got invited to like this content creation camp, and it's Patreon based. And I'm kind of considering maybe trying to throw my hat in the ring and learn some stuff. Just the problem is I've been doing this for 10 years, and a lot of the stuff they do is very repetitive. Just like Nam's heard my story about SOCOM a million times and going to Zipper. I know what they're going to tell me. I've been there, done that. I've read it. I've practiced this for 10. I mean, October. We're only a couple months away, guys, from October. In October, whatever, 12th or whatever it is, that's my 10-year YouTube anniversary for Happy Thumbs Gaming. Like my Inadub channel, my personal one is even older than that, but there's not an active content. There's not a lot of stuff to see there. Feel free to go check it out if you want. But ultimately, it's almost been 10 years of uploading, which is insane. And in all fairness, my 10-year mark for my first uploaded video is likely more like January or February. Jeremy took the lead and had the financial side of things at the time where I did not. I needed a computer. I needed all these things I didn't have. And Jeremy did. Jeremy went out and bought it all. And, again, big shout out to Jeremy. I don't talk to him. Our paths don't cross at all anymore. But what a crazy scenario that put me. And it's so weird how it started. Like the whole concept of Happy Thumbs actually came from Urgent Fury, but it also spawned from 503, my clan. So like it's just like the history and how it all wraps up and it's all intertwined together. Like it's really crazy. And then to think too, like I don't even talk to the people who helped me create this, which is crazy to me. But at the same time, it's life, right? Not everybody stays friends forever. So anyways, back to the $5 and up stuffs with Patreon. Bam. These guys all are on the wall of fame over at HappyThumbsGaming.com. And much love to all of you. These guys have been supporting for most cases, maybe even since day one. It means a lot, guys. I appreciate you. I see you. Don't think I don't see you. Means a lot. Means a lot. And I appreciate Thumbie coming in to shout out like that. It's important that he's involved, despite the fact that he's got his old costume on. I don't know if anybody knows that. I always point it out. All right. Last but not least, regarding Patreon, I do have some shout outs at $10 and up. These people actually get a verbal shout out, a thank you, if you will, for being, just amazing supporters. And again, all these guys have been here for a long time, most of them anyways. And in no particular order, Dougie Fresh. Thank you, Dougie. He was also one of the originals. I mean, you got to go way back, to get Dougie involved. But, he was number 4 technically as far as being involved with the channel. It was me, Jeremy, me, and then Mark was kind of the order of that, how that went. And then Doug was next in line, and Doug actually hung out and got a lot more active than Mark did. But we still thank Mark and Doug both for their time, regardless of how short or whatever it may be. But much love, Dougie. Thank you for your support, and it'd be nice to get you on a stream or something again. Dougie, the other left fresh. That is correct. AKA Pull the Dougie. Next up, we got Adam Barnfielder. Thank you so much, Adam. You're here almost always as part of the early notification squad. You always have some positivity and some Lego content to bring. Updates on your gameplay, regardless if we ask for it or not. But we love it. We love to hear the success and appreciate your support and like I said, the positivity you bring to the community. It's awesome. Awesome. All right, next up, again, in no particular order, I'm just reading them off the list here. Zarya Gamer X, as you might know this person from, happens to frequent the chat often, likely out there lurking right now. Pretty good about being here, but not being here, if you know what I mean. But again, much love. Thank you so much for your support. Gamer X has actually been around for a long time. And is not as active verbally or physically as some, but it doesn't mean that, I don't notice or know. And we have lots of conversations on the backside, Facebook and things like that. So, it's cool. So I appreciate all the love. Thank you so much. I keep waiting for her to say, I'm here. Anyways, next up, Michael Korsberg. Michael is on another side of the planet from me and not likely here right now. I know he was here earlier for the Overcooked stream. He was giving me a bad time about not cooking stuff. I was flapping my yapper. So just cook some food already. But Michael, much love. I know you're going to watch this later. Thank you so much for your continued support. Maybe one of these days we might even get to play a game together or something. I know our schedules are pretty opposite of each other, but, stranger things have happened. All right, next up, April White. Thank you so much, April, for your continued support. We used to talk a lot more often than we do now. I always say I'm going to change that, and then something stupid comes up. The last couple months have just been stupid busy for me. And I mean that, stupid busy. So hopefully, I'll remember on an off moment, and I'll take some time to reach out and see how you're doing. Because we used to talk once or twice a month. We were like pen pals, you guys. I know I've mentioned this many a times, but it's always fun getting to read and getting a little piece of somebody else's life without really being involved, right? It's cool. So the support is awesome. I miss the friendship, and let's get that going again. Last but not least on this $10 Patreon support list, Bonnie Miller. Thank you so much, Bonnie, for your continued support. Again, another one that's been around basically since day one. You guys have no idea how much that means to me. Patreon has been sort of like a godsend, as a nice little cushion to fall onto, knowing that YouTube may or may not, whatever, for money-wise for a month or two. And knowing that I at least had something, right, that you guys were supporting me there too. So it's nice to have that other outlet. But keep in mind that there still is a very high possibility that we might transfer most of those same perks over to the YouTube and have it be memberships here. Now, the reason for that, including the Happy Thumbs Namer Wall of Fame, all of that, I think, maybe better suits here. than over on the Patreon. And I only say that because you guys would get more benefits out of it. You'd get the badges, you'd get the emojis, you'd get, you know, potentially the behind the scenes streams, things like that. And ultimately it just makes more sense. And the only bad side of that is having all your eggs in one basket. If that basket is an unknown, that does suck. So, you know, be looking for some change in the future, but I'll definitely let you guys know long before anything happens. But let's see here. Should be a join button. Oh, okay. Teflon looking to up the number, huh? Okay. There should be a join button. Depending on where you're viewing, it might be a little different. It looks like Kirsten dropped the link there to go directly to... well, that should be to the live stream. Maybe? I don't know. But yeah, it should definitely be on your screen next to like the subscribe button or something. But hey, so guys, I officially am done. My list is done. So hopefully that wasn't too boring. Troy, what is up? Today, 5 p.m. Yes, it's actually 6 p.m. now. We're just wrapping up. Thanks for sneaking in at the end here. Let's see here. Link is to the channel's main page. Is it? I don't know why I thought... Oh, that's right. It's a little different for the live. I guess, can I see it right now? Yeah. I guess it's not. That's the different one. Okay. Anyways, big time shout out to Casey for being a new member today. Much love. So tomorrow, be expecting a Lego Batman video. And then I'm going to hopefully get through... I don't know how much I'll get through. I got 4 story levels left to record. I've got one that will also be uploaded tomorrow. One's already on the channel, so if you follow the end screen links of the most recently uploaded one, you can watch it, or you can see it released when it gets released tomorrow. And then there will be another one added to that, which then will leave 4 more videos before we get to the free play. What's up, Michael? Now I can get my daily grind on. Yeah, word. My wife is about 15 minutes away from being home. Let's see here if she's any closer now. Oh, yeah, she's well past. She's almost to Woodburn. So she's not well past, but she's definitely past the hang up. So she's 15 minutes away from being home. That's awesome. I haven't seen her since Monday when she scared the crap out of me during World War Z stream. You guys remember that? Mm-hmm. I and my underpants certainly do. Hey, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out as per usual. Please don't forget to hit that like button. I see we've got more people watching right now than we have overall likes, and I know that people have come and gone, so help us out. Hit that like button. It's so dumb how much that matters and how important that is to the YouTube algorithm. And, you know, if we have more likes than there were concurrent viewers, that would be amazing. I mean, of course, if you don't like what you see, don't click it. But if you did like, if you had a good time, if you want to see more things like this, if you enjoy the game breaks, click that like button. I see a couple of them have gone up already. I appreciate that. Much love. Perfect timing. Yeah, not so much. Not so much. Well, I guess in her getting home, yes. But all right, guys, thank you so much. I'll be back on Friday with Returnal. You guys know the drill. Head on over to any of our social medias if you have not already. It's, you know, Facebook, Twitter, all those places are great for knowing what is happening and when it's happening. Definitely check it out. As for me, though, that's it. As always, until next time. See ya.